Hey, we're live.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Shallow Proclamation. My name's Thomas, and I'm joined by.
Paul.
Does it actually just say our names at the bottom?
It does say that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we didn't really need to do that, but
No.
it wouldn't be a Shallow Proclamation video if we didn't, would it?
No. I'm glad you jumped in there then, because during the countdown, I realised to myself we didn't decide who was actually going to do the intro. So well done for taking the initiative. I like that.
Well, there we go. How are things, Paul?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm back to sort of work and school stuff now, so that's a little bit depressing. Back to actual routine and just working, really. That's yeah. I'm loving life. What about you?
Yeah, similar, really. No, it's been good to be back at work, seeing everyone again. But it's quite quiet. It's quite a few people who are still away. But yeah, got some watermelon here left over.
So, oh, good. I wondered if you'd have a snack with you.
A healthy snack.
A very healthy snack. It's more healthier than your sort of Bombay mix or whatever it is you normally have. Although occasionally you did once have a bag of lettuce.
Yes, so. it's been So I'm just quickly posting on the Discord that we're live in case anyone's forgotten. Yeah. I thought I'd get those vitamins in, and isn't it? I don't know about watermelon, but I know celery actually has negative calories.
So they say. Yeah. I don't know whether that's an urban legend though.
Yeah,
because surely, I don't know. Well,
maybe, and there's probably still nutritional value in eating it because of vitamins and minerals and stuff. But I guess in terms of energy you get from it, it is just like eating, I don't know, water.
It's not a complete tangent because Doctor Who does have a bit of a celery related. There is something related to celery.
There we go. I think people are picking up on that
already. People know. Sam Wilkes there.
Well, hello everyone. Yeah, it's great to see you. We've got Chemdog said at 11:58 p.m. I'm assuming that was yesterday, unless he's from the future.
Is that the time we're finishing? No. Heck of a review.
Sam Wilkes, great to see you again. Who was, of course, featured in one of our videos for the first episode of the final. I don't want to say the final ever season of Doctor Who, but
it feels a bit like that
for now.
I'd be interested to know. I mean, obviously, we'll get onto this season in a moment. I'd be interested to know in the comment section what are people's thoughts going ahead in terms of the war between the land and the sea. Is anyone looking forward to it? Because I'll be honest, I was a bit like, this seems like the spin-off that nobody really asked for, and just feeling a bit apathetic about it. But having seen there we go. I saw a thing today that said something about, or maybe it was yesterday, an article about it saying that basically it's really good. It's like a really strong thing, like a really strong story. So I wonder whether it might surprise us. The one thing I don't like the look of, though, is there's a character in it who I think might supposed to be a sea devil, and if they've redesigned the sea devils, I really don't like it. But I mean, I'll hold judgment until I work out whether that is supposed to be a sea devil.
Do you mean Gugu and Bata Raw's character?
Yeah.
Lady. Yeah, I was intrigued by that because I was I felt kind of very apathetic towards it, but then I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, okay, this looks like it has quite some scope to it. I've enjoyed Russell Tovey and quite a few things, and Gugu and Bata Raw, she's quite a big actress as well. Obviously,
she was previously in Doctor Who, right?
Previously in Doctor Who, of course, yeah. And then she's done loads of films since she was in the Loki Marvel series.
Oh, really? Okay.
So it's cool she's kind of returning to the Doctor Who universe, even as like a bigger actor than she left it.
Yeah. No, I gave up on Loki,
heard. Did you?
Well, I gave up on a lot of Marvel, so.
Oh yeah, I would have thought you'd quite. I think for Doctor Who fans, I would have thought Loki would be sort of some quite good adjacent media because it's quite tiny.
I have heard that. I don't know. I can't remember. I didn't get into it that much.
But yeah, no, fair. But yeah, you're right. Her character, I was kind of like, is this a sea devil? Is this a sea devil that had a kid with a human? Is this the offspring of a sea devil and a human or something? Because it's like, I feel like the sea devils can't speak English.
Right.
They're not able to make those sounds. They're kind of they're intelligent, but they're like a completely different speed. They're not, well, they are humanoid to some extent, but they're
They
like,
do speak English though.
oh yeah, no, what am I talking about?
They're very whispery, like
Whispery. I guess that's what I mean, yeah.
I think
Clearer English.
I think as Rebecca Burgess just said, it could be easily explained as they're just a cousin of the Sea Devils in the way they did with New Who Silurians. And that I was literally just about to say that might be the explanation. This is a different strand of Sea Devils. So, yeah, but we'll see. But apparently, it's not landing until 2026. So that feels a long time off. I'd assumed it was going to be in this period between sort of September and Christmas, but apparently not.
The snore between. Okay, yeah, it's intriguing, isn't it? As you say, I think you said on the Discord, when the main show is not having the best time, doing a spin-off feels kind of weird.
Yes,
because spin-offs often ride on the momentum of a main show doing very well. But who knows? It could be. It might become the new main show and be like, this is really good. We need to build on this.
Well, it could be, and obviously you've not seen it yet, but Torchwood, particularly the third season of Torchwood, Children of Earth, is a genuine sort of little nugget of gold, which in many ways surpassed a number of things Doctor Who has done at times. So even though the show is obviously very strong at that point, the main show, so you can certainly do a spin-off which is excellent and of a really high quality. So I mean, I hope it is good, and I hope it keeps things going. I mean, it seems like the noise that the BBC are making, or the Doctor Who world is making, is that the BBC are definitely keen to keep Doctor Who going, but it just seems like, well, either they don't know what they're going to do with it at the moment, or they can't really make any decisions until the war between the land and the sea is done, and the whole Disney thing seems like it's run its course. So maybe they can't move forward, at least openly, until then. So, but I wasn't enamored by the way the last season ended. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's no secret on our channel that we weren't the biggest fans of that episode. You can watch our reaction to see in real time as we both lost it. Michael Collins, are you? That's not the Michael Collins, is it?
Should I know? Apologies to Michael Collins if
Command
you are the Michael
pilot during Apollo 11.
I mean, what are the odds? You never know.
Yeah. Well, so that's modern stuff. So again, it's still quite exciting that we've got, the show is still alive, and there's stuff to talk about. But we're going right back, aren't we, for this classic season 11 review?
Yes.
Which it feels like we were watching for a while. I think because there were some. Well, yeah, obviously we were doing modern era stuff.
That we actually started. We watched the first 2 episodes of The Time Warrior before season, whatever that season was, 14.
That's right. So that split that story up.
Yeah, so that probably makes it feel longer. And of course, because it was the summertime, we were away at different things, so we probably did spread it out a little bit, didn't we?
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, I guess we should just do our usual and go through each story and what we thought of it. How the dust has settled now that we've had a bit of time to reflect on them. Also, I'll be bringing up your comments and questions as we go, and then we'll get into some other questions at the end. But I
thought you were talking to me then. I'll be bringing up your comments and questions. I was like, I've not really got any questions. Like
in the private chat where Paul's been messaging me things like, "I'm not currently wearing any trousers."
I'll use my special
Don't tell
MacBook
anyone.
cam again. Switch to the alternate camera view.
Oh man, that's such a bizarre feature, isn't it?
I've still not worked out how on earth that is supposed to help anyone. So,
oh, that's a horror film concept, isn't it? You know, when you go on the option for to select your camera input, and it shows you like FaceTime HD camera. What if when you click on that, there are loads of other options, and you go on them, and they're like hidden cameras throughout your house, and you're like, what?
We should write it. Write it.
There we go. This is happening.
Watch this space. So yeah, we generally just sort of run through these stories, don't we, and kind of just review a little bit of what we thought of them. So yeah, so it kicked off the season, didn't we, with the Time Warrior? What are your thoughts on this one? Sort of looking back on that, or things that stick in your memory from it?
Yeah, very fond. Embarrassing that I didn't call out Sarah Jane as soon as she appeared on screen. I think, as I said at the time, but she introduced herself with another name, didn't she? And that threw me.
Yes.
And then so I was like, oh, I feel like that is Sarah Jane, but I don't want to call it, because if it isn't, that's going to be really embarrassing. And also in my head, I didn't think she went back as far as the Third Doctor, but that's really cool.
Did you have any sense of when she had been involved? But
not at all. No.
Lavinia. Sam Wilkes has jumped in there.
Lavinia, yeah, exactly. So I was kind of like, But that was cool to see her introduced to the show. Obviously, a kind of a fan favorite companion. I get the sense from across the show's history, or certainly, the fact that she's come back in the modern era, holds a special place in the hearts of Doctor Who fans. So that was cool. And also the first appearance of the Sontarans. Well, it's just one, isn't it?
Yes, a single Sontaran.
Yeah, I thought he looked great. And I loved the fact that he was introduced in this kind of medieval setting. I thought that worked really well. Because he kind of seemed like a knight figure. And there's something fun about actually Doctor Who aliens appearing in the past. I've always loved that. Like Daleks in the pyramids. Brilliant. Yeah,
that's a great visual, isn't it? So
yeah. What did you think of it, re-watching it? When was the last time you saw that story? Is it one you've come back to a lot? Or?
No, it's not actually. It's not one I owned when I was younger. And so it's not one I've seen loads and loads of times. So I couldn't tell you. I mean, I think probably last time I watched it was probably, like 17 years ago. I'm thinking pre-marriage. I'm thinking basically because this is my wedding anniversary this week. I'll have you know.
Oh, congrats!
17 years this Friday. And definitely, I don't think I've watched it in that time. So it was BM, before marriage. Is the time I used for that.
Maybe to celebrate, you could try and watch it with your wife. Would she be up for that?
I'll suggest it. I'll suggest it as maybe a night in.
The whole family.
If not, maybe the Web Planet. I think it was a great story, and I agree with you on a lot of the things there. So obviously, I mean, literally the first thing about the whole season, not necessarily specific to that story, is you get a new intro, don't you? So having had the same credits for the Pertwee era the entire way through, we suddenly flip over to this kind of new kind of thing with the sort of tunnel vortex effect and Pertwee disappearing backwards down it. We've started watching the Tom Baker era, just for you guys at home. I know some of you had asked. We have started, although we're not far in. And we say there's a lot of similarities between the two intros, but the Pertwee one does have that sort of distinctive bit at the beginning with this sort of line slits effect that kind of runs through it, which I've always quite liked. So I think it's a great little intro there. So there's that, which I think is great coming to the season. It gives the season a feel, like just changing it up a bit there. As you say, Sarah Jane popping up there. I was waiting to kind of see how you would react to that. So you're sort of hedging your bets, waiting to see if you were going to call out. It was a bit like when you saw the Master. The Master returned in Claws of Axos, and you kind of completely missed it.
I missed him. And the sonic screwdriver. I think I was just talking.
Basically, you just need to pay more attention. Like,
yeah, if you want depth and thorough Doctor Who analysis, this might not be the channel for you. If you want the sense of trying to introduce your friend to classic era Doctor Who and what that's like in real time, this is the channel for you. But no, it's been great. It's been great.
So no, I think it's a really good start, and I think all the things you mentioned as well, sort of obviously great to have this first Sontaran figure in the figure of Links, and is it Kevin Lindsay, I think, who then pops up later as Campo Rinpoche, Campo Rinpoche in Planet of the Spiders.
And isn't there later on there's Links Africa?
The favourite of many a teenage schoolboy. I tell you what, now, if I ever smell Links Africa now, that's like time travel. That's like being transported back to a different time.
There's
Kevin
also
Lindsay,
the Vlinks Africa as well, isn't there? In the modern
lots of great things. Kevin Lindsay, just excellent as and as you say, that sort of the sort of medieval type setting with the outfit that he wears has that sort of armor look, doesn't it? Of kind of a knight of that era, which has based around it there. So I quite like that, and the script was just excellent. There were lots of great sort of lines, particularly I think from Irongron, sort of exclamations of things. And, as people mentioned, we also had sort of June Brown appearing as sort of Doc Cotton from EastEnders in a much earlier role. And the first mention of Gallifrey, of course, by name.
Yeah. So it was a lot of firsts, wasn't it, that story?
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think you necessarily... I mean, I'm not sure, had you realised, because we'd obviously seen Gallifrey in the Three Doctors and we'd seen it in the War Games.
Yeah.
Had you really twigged that it had never been referenced, or just coming with someone from the modern era, you obviously know the name, so...
Yeah, that's a good point. So I just saw it and went, oh, that's Gallifrey.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, they don't say it, do they?
No.
That's really fascinating. When was the first use of the phrase Time Lord? That was quite a bit further back, wasn't it?
Does he? Yes, we had the first. Was he actually just not? Was he not referred to as a Time Lord until the War Games?
Yeah, it might have been. That rings a bell, actually. Yeah, because the monk is clearly a Time Lord, and they just call him the meddling monk. The monk from his home planet, basically. Yeah.
I love how there was a scramble. There's a scramble in the comments there. War games. Like...
Vernon Doptchev. Yes.
There we go. Yeah. So I think again you come
into strong start season.
Definitely a strong start.
Sorry, I think there's a slight delay, so sorry if I keep interrupting you.
No, that's all right. Don't worry. No, I think it's good and a nice.
How are you doing, Paul?
And then Invasion of the Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
So run me through this.
Bit of a come down. No, I'm joking. It's fun. It's very different. I think I love the ambition of we're going to do Jurassic Park before Jurassic Park, and we're going to do it in London. And we're going to have massive, we're going to make it look like there are dinosaurs walking the streets and fighting each other and soldiers are shooting at them and there are pterodactyls flying around and it's like sucking them from the past and dropping them in the present. And it's a very ambitious concept. And it has a charm to it. I love the models. It remind me slightly of Walking with Dinosaurs, although those models were really good. But yeah, I love that they attempted it. I think now it's hard to watch it without laughing, but that's not me saying it's a load of rubbish. It's just recognizing its charm and the fact that, yeah, maybe the effects have come on a bit since, but yeah, it was fun. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I think I'm converted in terms of invasion of the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
I think as we came into it, I can't remember if I mentioned it before the story started or afterwards, that I think the story has this reputation of rubbish dinosaurs, and so therefore it's sort of then picked up a reputation of being a story that in itself is a bit rubbish.
Yeah.
But I think actually, like, you can, I think, you know, you can kind of look past the dinosaurs personally.
Yeah.
Even for the, you know, often we've said, haven't we, like, we try and watch it and think, would this have looked good at the time? And it seems that the answer to that is no. Even then, it didn't look good. But I think the story is so strong.
Yeah.
That it's the sleeper hit for me. This is it. This is this season's version of The Savages. The one that's come out of left field and has taken me by surprise is what has become probably my favorite one of the season, if I'm honest. I think there's so much good stuff in it. I mean, even if you think just about how it started, that first episode, where we said, I think we compared it, probably the first people to compare Invasion of the Dinosaurs to 28 Days Later.
Yeah.
that film with Cillian Murphy. But that intro and all the London settings there, I think someone said maybe it was in one of the previous comments, one of the questions about Invasion of the Dinosaurs is this sort of lovely little time capsule of London locations.
Yeah.
And I think it really is, isn't it? It really feels as if you have those bits in the streets. There's a wonderful sort of 1970s look to it. And I always enjoy the location stuff in the Pertwee era, so that was good.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it did the thing that we like as well about six-parters, is that it flips and does different things.
Yeah, that concept of the people who think they're going to a new Earth, but actually it's not a spaceship, and they're just going to get out without a knowledge of how, you know, the fact that the world's been erased, and so that that was a nice kind of sinister concept, wasn't it? That they're being deceived into thinking that they're going off to a different planet, but they're really going to this planet, but it's been kind of purged. Although that was nicely done.
Yeah, and there's the story with Yates, of course, being this sort of going rogue as a character.
Yeah.
Which was really good. Having him been established, I think, in the series since season 8, really, isn't it? I think when Joe Grant arrives in Terror of the Autons, I think he appears then, or in that season at least, and he's very much part of the unit family and a good guy, all-round good egg, Mike Yates. Yeah. So we said actually what it felt was interesting about this season is that the way it did have like a bit of an arc to it. It even started back in the Green Death. I thought that was a strong part of the season, let alone just that story. Someone mentioned there as well, I forgot, Michael S. Collins. When they colorized episode 1, I was genuinely shocked to see the blood. I wasn't expecting that. And do you remember that guy? Wasn't he like run over or hit by a car or something in the first episode? I'd forgotten that, and that was pretty. I've actually written here blood and gore, so that was striking. Yeah, it was very much reminiscent. I think we said at the time of back in Spearhead from Space, that first Pertwee story with the car crash there and the blood on the windscreen. Yeah, that was. I quite like that in Doctor Who, though. It's not gratuitous, but there's a sort of shock value there that I quite like, and the series in this sort of era does do that a little bit more. And I think we don't get any of that really in the modern era, which is a shame. You wouldn't want it to become, you know, a real gore fest, but it just adds a slight.
grittiness to it, doesn't it? And a sense of there's a weight to what's going on, consequences. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Whenever I hear someone say Terror of the Autons, I just hear Terry the Auton. I don't know why. So that was Invasion of the Dinosaurs. Then we had Death to the Daleks, which was a bit of a gem, wasn't it? We really enjoyed it.
Well, I think we thought there was a good story. From what I remember, I think we say that there's a good story in there somewhere. There was a lot of good ideas, but some of the execution was a little bit poor.
Yeah, like the carpet cliffhanger, or well, it's not
the mosaic,
carpet, is it?
Dangerous
floor.
mosaic on the floor,
Yeah.
and also, oh no, it's the Daleks. Bum 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 doo 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 bum 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 doo doo doo. And okay, it's the menacing clarinet moment. Like,
yeah, even that kind of added to it and kind of made it weirdly fascinating. And like the terrible battle tactics, like where they're down in a trench and they start firing at the people on the high ground. You're like, well, that was stupid. Why would you do that? And the Dalek that bursts into flames when it just gets whacked on the head.
Couple of sticks, hit with a few sticks. Yes, I mean, John G has said there it feels, nation that is most uninspired and it looks a bit drab, feels a bit drab. I agree with that. When I think of Death to the Daleks, I think of grey, sort of very grey, bland. Even the scenes in the quarry, which you'd think would be a sort of bit more sandy, it all looks very sort of washed out.
Is it not in black and white?
It could feel like that,
doesn't it? Yeah.
I think, for me, like watching it, I found it quite a hard watch in some ways, I think. I think people were saying the story, there's a story in there, but the Daleks are made to feel just a bit pathetic, really. So the only thing I like about the Daleks, well, I mean, I say I like about the Daleks. As a child, the thing that struck me about this story was the design, the colours of the Daleks being different from what we'd seen before. And because I know that we don't see that design ever again, it's a little bit of a standalone on that front, but it can't really save the story. So, but I think we did have, I think there was some effective scenes in the, oh gosh, what they called? The Exelon, the sort of the Exelon creatures when they had their caves. And the one thing I did quite like was that chanting. You always had that that thing going on. And we said you never work out if it was supposed to be in the room. Is it incidental music or is it like diegetic, non-diegetic?
Yeah, indeed. No, it's Finding Nemo, isn't it?
With Jabba the Hutt.
Oh man, yeah. Been working through Star Wars, the CGI bit that they added in Jabba's palace, where it's like that song and dance number is so funny.
Yes.
What about the droid attack on the Wookiees? Yeah. This is interesting. Kevin Merchant, script editor, was getting a bit fed up of Terry Nation producing the same script over and over again. Yeah. Although, did you say Nicholas Briggs? It's like one of his favourite Doctor Who stories.
Yes, I think I did say that at the time. Yeah, that he loves it.
That kind of fascinates me, and it suggests to me that there is quite a lot going on in there. It kind of makes a virtue of its flaws in some ways, and it stays in the mind, maybe. For some good reasons and some less good. The thing that really haunted me in it was at the end when the whole sort of city sort of burns and it's kind of screaming.
Oh yeah,
very.
So there are some really nice moments in it and nice ideas, and even the stuff in the city, like the idea of the different puzzles, they're all good ideas, but there's a lot of execution that leaves a little bit to be desired, unfortunately. And I think Pertwee wasn't a huge fan of the Daleks anyway.
Was he not? Ah, interesting.
No, I don't think so. You might be wrong in saying that. But I think there was a line in it. I think it's in episode 2 where he describes the Daleks as, or what's inside the Dalek as, a living, bubbling lump of hate.
Yeah.
And I think
Great.
that's a phrase. I'm not sure I realised it came from Death to the Daleks. It's a phrase that I think is sort of stuck somewhere. So
Yeah.
I think it is a great description of the Daleks. So there are, again, it's less than the sum of its parts. I think Death to the Daleks in the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
There we go. Jon Pertwee definitely not a fan of the Daleks.
It's interesting. I can imagine as an actor, like, they're quite hard to bounce off. Well, yeah, you don't. Yeah, you're not getting much back, are you? And some people might prefer that, but I imagine someone like Pertwee enjoyed the villains that kind of were very expressive, and he could kind of really.
He liked the mouth.
Yeah.
We've talked about this, haven't we? He likes seeing the mouth.
Yeah.
Which you definitely don't get in a Dalek. So yeah, and
imagine if the whole head just moves up and down each time they talk. Like all the way around,
like a flip top bin.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can imagine though if we said As Terry Nation did seem to be sort of phoning in the scripts a little bit as well. If the scripts feel uninspired and you already don't like the Daleks, you can't be that excited about doing much with them, I guess. But yeah,
something that just struck me: Gatwa never interacted with the Daleks as Doctor, did he?
No, so or Cybermen, I believe. No.
Yeah, and neither did 14. So that's 2 Doctors we've had in a row that haven't seen the Daleks.
And Pertwee has no Cybermen.
Ah, that's really interesting.
Apart from a slightly, you get there's a Cyberman on the view screen in the Carnival of Monsters, but that's not actually, a story there. So no, Pertwee never really gets a Cybermen story, which is interesting because the Cybermen in the Troughton era were just turning up every 5 minutes. It felt, weren't they? Because
yeah,
because even I say that they're actually in season 4. I kind of forget that Hartnell is at the beginning of season 4, isn't he? The first 2 stories, I think it's the Smugglers and then the 10th Planet. So you get the Cybermen then, and then you've got sort of like the Moon Base, haven't you? And the Wheel in Space, the Tomb of the Cybermen, and the Invasion.
Yeah.
But
that's really interesting. And yeah, it's surprising as well because he's been Doctor for quite a big period of time. Pertwee, he's got quite a big stint, so it's interesting that he never had any Cybermen.
Yeah. Great. Okay. Well, shall we move on then to Monster of Peladon?
Yeah, I imagine we might do a ranking of the season. This, for me, might have been the weakest, but it's a really strong season, so it was still it was good, but to me, it just. I found it a bit boring, I'll be honest. Death to the Daleks, for its flaws, kind of kept me engaged. It was interesting. Peladon, did we really want to go back to Peladon? Some interesting ideas there, like the spirit of Agador and...
I won't do it.
What were you going to do?
Agador.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, and man, I'm trying to remember what else happened.
It's a distinctly bizarre story, isn't it? Again, it's
the Ice Warriors.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think we felt though, didn't we, that it was very like the first 2 episodes. You're like, and then was it beginning of episode 3? That's when the Ice Warriors turn up. And it does try and pick up a gear then a little bit, but I think I'd agree with Kevin there. Boring. It's just not. It's just not brilliant, and it's too long. It's a story that is 6-parter that could have been done as a 4. If that really. So it needed some serious editing, and it just feels like it drags on. I wonder as well whether I felt it more as well because I knew what was coming next. Because I knew that Planet of the Spiders was coming, and although Planet of the Spiders, as a story, isn't again like a phenomenal story, I know what's at the end of it. So I'm thinking, I want to get onto this stuff,
Yeah, I'm honestly just trying to remember what notable things that happened during Monster Peladon.
I mean, Badger Men.
Yeah, I'm bringing up the
Uh,
titles we used for our YouTube videos.
it was drawn a little bit drawn out, I think. Yeah, it doesn't stick in my mind. I think
One of them's just called "We're Struggling."
yeah. Well, there you go. And I don't like that though as well. I don't like because the aim was that whatever we do, we wanted to try and be positive about them, but
Yeah,
it's hard when it feels like it's just dragging and not really going anywhere to come out with
yeah,
something and come out of an episode and just be like, oh gosh, I just kind of want this to hurry up and be done with, really.
yeah. Like when I'd moved the mouse to see where the timestamp was, and you were like, "Oh, we still only that far in."
Yeah. I was like, oh my word.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, we can say this now. We finished the Pertwee era. Like, there really aren't any like truly terrible stories in his entire era, are there? Like, this was a mediocre one, but it was still fairly well executed. It wasn't embarrassing to watch. You're like, oh no, the show's just completely lost its way, or what were they all on holiday for this week or something? Yeah, so it's a testament to the quality that they were able to keep up, really, that this was one of the weaker ones. But yeah, I like that. Michael Collins, 6 episodes of political tedium.
Yeah, I think that's fair. So
It's a bit like
not
watching The
great.
Phantom Menace, where you're just like, oh man, half an hour of trade blockade, Federation stuff, and you're just like, this isn't very interesting.
Yeah. No, I think I'd agree with that. So yeah, which is a shame because I don't like to be negative about it.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah, I think that's right. There are no truly bad Pertwee episodes.
Yeah.
Which brings us to, as you say, the final Pertwee story. And I suppose we might do a Pertwee review at some point. But
yeah, we'll try and do the whole 5 seasons.
Yeah.
5 seasons,
Gosh.
yeah.
It's been a lot. Yeah, Planet of the Spiders, or the 8 Legs, I should say. But the title is Planet of Spiders. Yeah. It was an interesting. I really like the touch of. It seems like a minor thing, but the touch of, we're bringing back that crystal from the Green Death, and it's going to play an important role in the story, and it allows an opportunity to have a letter from Jo, which as you pointed out, really did feel like a letter written by Jo. You could hear her voice in it, couldn't you? And this kind of Thanos-esque spider. When she has all the crystals, she will have power over the universe. And yeah, I thought it was kind of fun. I like that the Metabilis 3 kind of looked like Monument Valley. And they had like these human slaves. Anyway, it was weird, wasn't it? The talking spiders and the kind of people from Tibet who probably weren't from Tibet. That Time Lord with the hat. What's his name?
Campo Rinpoche.
But yeah. Do you want to just share your thoughts on like the story as a whole before we chat about obviously the big thing that happened?
Big finish. Yeah, I mean, again, it's that 6-parter thing where it does that. We said it's good that it moved to the planet of the spiders. It gave a change of scenery. I like the I prefer the stuff on Earth in the house. Again, it's that really nice location work that is just such a mark of the Pertwee era, really. Yeah, and I enjoy it. Even that second episode, was it basically episode 2 that was pretty much just one long chase? I didn't really mind.
I prefer my coffee dratted.
Exactly. All those. There were so many wonderful little lines there from the Brigadier. I think Nicholas Courtney really does a great job in this story with the small moments he gets.
Yeah.
And I think, as we were saying, that the fact that there is this kind of stuff with the crystal that been set up in Green Death, and Yates coming from, having a bit of redemption storyline, I think is really is really well done. And we've not seen anything like that in the series so far, anything quite so joined up. And I think as well, as people were mentioning here, like Tommy's storyline was great, and John Kane moving as Tommy. I agree with that. I think Tommy's a real highlight, actually, in the way the way he's sort of treated by them before his mind is cleared by the crystal, and then sort of, was it he was sort of his innocence. It said something about his innocence meant that his mind wasn't affected by it in the same way. Which I thought was really nicely done. So I do enjoy it as a story. I mean, it's maybe a little bit. I mean, I don't think it's ever thought of as a real classic, the actual story itself. And people would say, perhaps, Pertwee could have gone out. You're right there.
For anyone who's wondering why I'm in a completely different location, I'm currently cat sitting for a friend. So we've got 2 cats here. So you might hear the odd meow. So sorry about that.
I mean, it's again, if you're thinking about Doctor regeneration stories, perhaps it's not a classic to go out on. But I think as we talk about the regeneration, those final moments are done so well that it doesn't really matter the rest of it.
There's an interesting phenomenon with regeneration stories in that if you love the Doctor, it kind of doesn't. The story itself can be not the best story, but you're still left with it. It's like a story you kind of revisit because it's when the Doctor you like regenerates. Like Matt Smith's final episode, it's good, but it's not his best, is it, by a long shot?
No, I think it tries to do too much in the space of a short amount of time.
It does. But I absolutely love his regeneration. I'll sometimes just watch that on YouTube. And Peter Capaldi's as well. Like, that was a pretty strong story, to be fair. Overall. Had some issues. But it's kind of interesting, isn't it? The regeneration kind of raises it a bar. And I think that's kind of what happens in this one, because Pertwee's such a good Doctor. And you get that great final moments and final lines. And it is a good story. But because of that, it's probably something that is talked about more. I've forgotten what his final line was, but it was nicely done, wasn't it?
He said, a tear, Sarah Jane, where there's life, there's, and then he loses consciousness and kind of dies, so to speak. Yes, and I think it is what we do get though is I do think a good regeneration story, regardless of what happens.
Bananas are good. So
a good regeneration story should have the Doctor dying for a good reason. You wouldn't want like the Doctor just to be sort of like fall off his exercise bike and bang his head and regenerate. So you want the Doctor to sacrifice himself for some reason, and actually going into the cave of the Great One, and knowing he would die in the process, that the radiation would affect him, but having to do that.
It's interesting how many Doctors die. I wonder how many Doctors die from radiation, because Tennant does, doesn't he, when he goes into the chamber?
Yeah, that's true. And it's the first time we get a proper mention of regeneration as well, again by name.
Just channel all your energy into the ground, and then you'll be free. You'll also kill me in the process.
Dear me.
Regeneration.
And what's also good about the story is that the Doctor it's really a result of his own doing, isn't it? That's what would happen if a Doctor was blown to pieces.
Each part becomes a new Doctor.
It becomes liquid. I thought it'd be like liquid metal, like the Terminator, just like join back together and then regenerate. No, but we saw how the Doctor, he finds out, he says, this is it's the consequences of his own actions catching up with him, isn't it? In the story, like his greed for the crystal has led to all these things and ultimately leads to his own death. So I think that's really nicely done.
Yeah, it has a slight Prometheus quality, doesn't it? I was reading a bit about him the other day, but obviously the Greek figure who stole fire from the gods and then was tortured for eternity. And it's often seen as, so like a lot of stories are described as Promethean because it's about this sense of someone going too far and discovering something amazing, but it ends up, being destructive. So like Jurassic Park is that sort of movie. Oh great, we brought dinosaurs back. Oh wait, that wasn't such a good idea. But yeah, you kind of get that in Pertwee, don't you? And just the Doctor in general, that he's got a brilliant mind, and he seems to be able to get out of the tightest kind of situations, but he sometimes pushes things a bit. And he just went to that planet and took one of these crystals and sort of thought that would be okay. Whoops. So that's quite interesting, isn't it? Well, and of course, first and foremost, he runs off with the TARDIS, doesn't he?
Yes. Obviously, yeah.
So he's a bit of a thief, really.
Oh yeah, well, absolutely. So.
Funny Telly has a question. I have a question. Well, you put a question mark at the end of that, so that is your question. No, I'm joking. Sorry. Yeah, far away. No, great to have you all in the chat. What if the Doctor was killed by a xenomorph face hugger? That's a good question. I don't know.
Shall we look at a couple of questions people asked?
Let's. Let's.
So a few people submitted stuff in advance, including John G. And he said, do you feel the show was running out of steam this season and that change was desirable at this point?
Huh.
Were you getting that? Did you feel that sense?
No, I didn't feel that sense, actually. I wonder if people felt that, like, as it was airing. I suppose it's true that it's probably not the strongest Pertwee season. There were some more middling stories in there. But I don't know. I think it felt like it was in a pretty strong place to me. I can't imagine people at the time saying Doctor Who's dead. But what about you?
I think. Yeah, I mean, I think in comparison to the seasons you've had before it definitely. I think I would rank it as the weakest Pertwee season.
Interesting. Yeah, that's probably true, isn't it?
I think particularly maybe because you've got Death of the Daleks and Monster of Peladon back to back, that doesn't help you. I do get a sense, a little bit sort of just. I think people saying Pertwee had been, I think, quite affected by Roger Delgado's death and Katie Manning as Jo sort of leaving. And I think obviously the production team were beginning to think about moving on. There's a sense that, there's a sense that perhaps I think the production team were working on other shows and they were maybe giving more time to that. So I think, when you kind of know those things, you could watch the episodes and think, oh yeah, maybe it does feel a bit like Pertwee's just sort of going through the motions a bit, getting towards the end and wanting to get the job done. So I think I did pick up on that a bit. It did feel a bit more, like it was perhaps it's not gone completely off the rails, but just like it's lost a little bit of steam and it needs changing up. And so it's probably the right time for Pertwee to think about moving on, and maybe time for, a new ideas to come in. Woodhouse 122 said, I think Pertwee was a little bored by season 11. He was desperate for something new. And I think, you kind of get that sense. But yet the show was bringing in, stuff like Sontarans and Gallifrey and Regeneration, and Sarah Jane comes in as a new character. And, and it's doing this stuff with this kind of arc idea and having stories that are connecting a little bit more over a longer period, which is, was kind of slightly a newer thing for them. So in the midst of that, they're still trying to do things. So
yeah,
yeah.
That's an interesting question, isn't it? I have to think some more about that.
So Paul Hunter said, "The Time Warrior gave us Pertwee's only historical-esque tale." I don't know if you'd really thought about that. I hadn't really struck me that it probably is really. There. It says, have you missed that element to the series, especially given that most of the last 5 years have been Earthbound?
That's interesting. I can understand why the show has sort of done away with the pure historicals like we had in the Hartnell era, because then it effectively just becomes time tourism, and which is fun. Let's just go back and witness this historic event. But it feels like the DNA of the show is introducing the wacky, the strange. And so it feels weird for Doctor Who to do a historical without there being some kind of alien presence or something timey-wimey that's going on, or that sort of reinterprets a historic event or something like that. But I have to say, I think it fitted the Sontaran really well to have that setting, and I always appreciate the show doing going back in time more, because as you say, you can remain Earthbound, but there's still so much to explore in terms of historic periods that can be really interesting to depict on the show. And how does the Doctor and the companion from a modern time interact with the older characters? So I'd say it is something I've missed, and maybe actually that's why this season didn't quite find its feet as much, because quite a few of the stories are not Earthbound, I guess. And maybe Pertwee's at his best when he's on Earth with Unit. I think we've said that's been a pretty core bit of it, hasn't it? The Unit family, the sense that it's actually all taking place in quite a familiar space.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't really twigged that it was the only one with a really sort of historical setting, albeit with a sci-fi twist on it. I've not missed it, actually. I think when I think back over the Pertwee era, and I think about the stories I've probably enjoyed least are ones like Colony in Space, The Mutants, the Peladon stuff. It's generally the ones where they've left Earth and gone off somewhere else. I think it, for me, Pertwee is just at home in the Earthbound Unit stories. And that feels like the Unit. That feels like the Pertwee era for me is like that's its defining feature. So I've not missed it at all, really. And I think I prefer Pertwee in the setting with the Unit family and Brigadier and Benton and all that crowd being there.
Yes.
So
quite restricted in a way, not just Earthbound, but kind of present bound. Like that whole season when, what was the season when the TARDIS wasn't moving at all and Pertwee was entirely... Was that season 8, 9?
Well, season 7 and 8.
Yeah.
He's still entirely... It's not until the Three Doctors, which was at the beginning of season... I forget, 9?
9, I think.
It was near... Maybe it was season 10, but it was nearer...
Oh yeah, no, it was season 10. Yeah,
season 10, but it was actually broadcast nearer the 9th anniversary, wasn't it? So it wasn't really a thing for me. I've just enjoyed the feel of the location Earthbound stuff, really. So Also from Paul Hunter, question for Thomas. It says, if you were to have been given a brief synopsis of each story in the season before watching, which story would you have placed as the one you would have looked forward to most?
Oh, that's a nice question. Oh, I might have said Planet of the Spiders. Just because I want to see how they do that. I want to see if those spiders come off. And to be fair, I think they're pretty strong. The way when they were all sitting in a row, we kind of thought, oh, are they just all completely static? But actually, they are all doing a little jiggle, and their legs will occasionally move. So yeah, I think it sort of came out again, a very ambitious concept, but so I probably would have heard the synopsis for that and thought, oh goodness me, what's this going to look like? I kind of want to see it. But I was impressed.
Good. Well, there we go. This was what I mentioned earlier, actually. Paul Hunt said, I find the shots of London in 1972 and 73, filmed for Invasion of the Dinosaurs, a fabulous piece of social history. Have you ever considered a road trip to visit some of the places that Who has filmed?
Oh, that'd be cool, wouldn't it?
I think we have sort of talked about it, haven't we, before? I think, though, probably what we need to do is watch the whole classic era first.
Yes.
And then, be like, oh, look, this is a place where this was or that was. And that's a video in itself, isn't it? Like, hopping in the car, going for a little drive.
Yeah, something we could do, actually. Maybe we'd have to wait till we finish the classic era as well for this. But we have a feeling that there are quite a few, like fairly close to where we live in Sussex, aren't there? Like Cookmere obviously features in the Invasion, doesn't it? Sorry, no, not the Invasion. The
War Games, was it?
The War Games. Yes, yeah. When they're kind of driving past the river, yeah. So quite a few scattered around in London, I imagine. It's got loads. So
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stuff down in the sort of south and southeast area. So who knows? Watch this space if we ever finish. You've got a quarry tour.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was one question there. And then what do we have here?
That is actually a good point, though. Yeah, the actual building where the spiders live looks like any other 70s sci-fi room. It should have been dark, fake rocks, fake webs. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, no, that's true. And we did feel that it was quite plain, didn't we? A lot of that.
Yeah, it looked like a school canteen or something.
This one, I'll say, actually, we might save that one for the Pertwee era review rather than season 11 there. So I don't think I've got any other particular questions from... Well, actually, no. Another Paul Hunter did say, are there any characters in this season that you feel deserved a special mention, either regulars or guest actors? Is there anyone that sort of stood out in your mind when you think back through this season? You go, actually, they were highlights there.
I know we've touched on this already, but Briggs saying, never mind the dratted coffee. He's just been great. That line sort of is a great demonstration of his relationship with the Doctor, and that was just played very nicely. Right to the end, actually. It was nice to have Briggs witness the regeneration and go, oh, not again.
Yeah.
So I was impressed with him and how they continued to flesh out that relationship. In terms of other actors, who plays the Sontaran again?
Kevin Lindsay.
Yeah, I thought he smashed it.
And then, of course, and coming back as Campo.
Yes.
Which we felt was, I mean, you probably wouldn't do that now, but I'd agree with you.
Will he ever reappear in the show? He'll get a spin-off series. Campo.
It's a big Finnish audio, Campo. I'd agree about the Brigadier. I think he has a lot of excellent moments in this season, even though, he's not as prevalent as he is in some of the other unit seasons. He has a lot of great moments and a lot of great lines that really highlight the relationship, particularly in those final episodes. I think I really like Tommy in that final episode as well. I think he's just really well done. And I really like his portrayal. Particularly, I think I said at the time when his mind has been cleared and he's got the book and he's reading through it and he's understanding it for like the first time. So I quite like that. So I think he was a good standout one. Yeah.
Trash shoots are annoying. This is the content we need, people.
Absolutely.
Hey y'all. Sorry.
Yeah.
Don't know why that came into my head. Are there any other questions, Paul?
Not that I've been given in advance. So unless anyone has any burning questions in the chat, we can probably think about wrapping up. So like I said, we have started on the next season. We are diving into some Tom Baker already and doing that, and we'll. There's a couple of other things we might try and watch before. Oh, sorry, yeah, I did see that question there came in about the TARDIS interior in this season. I don't know if you see. I find it quite difficult to picture the TARDIS interior in this season because not this season.
Lot of it.
Sorry, not just this season. I think they meant during the Pertwee era, but
right.
Because there's a lot of time when you're not in the TARDIS, and there's that one. There was the washing up bowl. What was it? No, or was it like the old? What was the one we said? It was like lampshades from the Time Monster that literally only appears in that story. And then they redesigned it for that story, and then didn't use it again. And then it pops. We get. I mean, the only times I can really think of being in the TARDIS, there's a lot of TARDIS at the beginning of Planet of the Daleks. But then, of course, I don't know if you see any TARDIS interior in season 7, where the TARDIS comes out of the. It was often outside of the TARDIS, wasn't it?
I'm actually struggling to pick. I suppose, yeah, and you've got the Master's TARDIS, haven't you? As you say, some TARDIS, some TARDI.
Some TARDI. I think. I don't think Pertwee has any really hugely distinctive moments with the TARDIS, like as an interior. Like there's not a lot that sticks in my mind.
Oh, how are you?
Hello.
There she is. Yeah.
So I mean, because so often the TARDIS doesn't really feature that much because of being earthbound and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's not the answer you're hoping for, but yeah, it is what it is.
Kadigaboos. Yes. Yeah. Good question. Yeah. And it's interesting, the TARDIS design hasn't changed much at all over the course of the show so far. It's not like the modern era where it's completely revamped with every Doctor. Well, actually, Eccleston Tennant, it kind of stays the same, but Matt Smith, it kind of became a thing that when the Doctor regenerates, the entire TARDIS, it's destroyed, kind of rebuilt. But yeah, I think the Hartnell's TARDIS, it happened on such an iconic design that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what I mean? The console, the white, it just works, doesn't it?
Well, the console in the season 7, the green one, is the original, isn't it?
Yes.
I think it was painted green to look white in black and white.
Yes, of course.
To get the color right for that. So then obviously it translates when it comes into color. It seems a bit strange to see a green console, but then they obviously do away with that eventually.
Yeah, it's sort of avocado color, isn't it?
Yes, very much so.
I don't know why I said it that way.
Smashed avocado.
Smashed avocado
on toast.
Oh man, yeah. Good stuff.
Well. Yeah, we've certainly. I think we've reached the end of that. Really,
this has been great. Yeah, thanks for joining, everyone, and do stay tuned for Baker coming soon.
And we probably will do because we did a Hartnell and Troughton review, didn't we? Overall, so I think we will do a bit of a look back on the whole 5 seasons, because it has been an era, hasn't it? Undoubtedly.
Yeah.
So I think we need to do that. Yeah. There we go.
Well, guys, thanks for watching. Great to have you with us. Thanks for all your questions and comments. So we couldn't get to them all. And do join our Discord if you haven't already, and check out Patreon for our full commentary tracks. But we will continue to do this because we have really broken the back of the classic era now, haven't we? We're going to see it through.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the modern era. and everything else.
Everything that keeps coming.
Yes. But no, thanks, Paul, and thanks everyone else. Goodbye.
Thanks, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Oh, is it ending?